You think Wemby's going to go down as a is he going to end up being like okay?
Yeah.
He seems scary.
Yeah, I do think he's going to go down as one of the great ones. I mean, from a statistical standpoint, it's just like I said when I saw LeBron come in the game. These guys are going to dominate the game statistically because of how the rules have been being changed. This guy can shoot a three-pointer whenever he get ready.
It's ridiculous.
That's the crazy part about it. It's like you can't even contest his shot. You know, we think that Steph Curry got the freedom to dribble and shoot the ball, but now you're talking about a guy that's 7'6", and with unbelievable range. Just watching him other night, step across half court, pull up a three.
What was that all of?
That's what we're going to be seeing in the next 10 years of the game is a lot more shooting.
Victor Wembanyama has quickly become the centerpiece of NBA discussion, not just because of his unusual combination of size and skill, but also because of the way his development has attracted mentorship from legends of the past. Standing at 7 feet 4 inches with the ability to handle the ball like a guard, pull up from beyond the arc, and dominate defensively in the paint, he embodies the evolution of basketball in a single player. His averages of 24.3 points, 11 rebounds, and 3.8 blocks across 46 games before a blood clot cut his season short highlighted how quickly he adapted to the league. He was not just competing but leading statistically in areas most players only dream of achieving. The involvement of Kevin Garnett has amplified intrigue. Garnett, a former MVP in 2004 and a crucial piece of Boston's 2008 championship run, carved his reputation with intensity, defensive ferocity, and psychological warfare. Over a 21-year career, he posted 17.8 points and 10 rebounds per game, but his real impact was in the mentality he brought to the court. Known for trash talk, relentless competitiveness, and an ability to get into opponents' heads, Garnett was more than a player. He was a disruptor who shifted games with his presence. His mentorship of Wembanyama represents a meeting point of old-school physicality and modern versatility. The numbers Wembanyama has already posted show why Garnett's interest in him makes sense. A 50-point performance at age 21 is something even LeBron James didn't accomplish at that age, underlining the precocious scoring ability the French star has. Alongside his shot-blocking dominance, 176 blocks last season, outpacing veteran Brook Lopez by 28. He combines rim protection with perimeter shooting. His 8.8 three-point attempts per game nearly matched his 9.9 two-point attempts, showing his tendency to stretch the floor in a way no player of his size has done consistently. For the San Antonio Spurs, this means the foundation of a franchise revival. The team has struggled to reach the playoffs since 2019, but with Wembanyama leading the charge, complemented by acquisitions and development around him, the trajectory appears promising. The addition of De'Aaron Fox, whose contract of $229 million reflects his value as one of the league's fastest guards, brings a playmaker to pair with the big man. Rookie Stephon Castle adds defensive intensity, while Dylan Harper provides youthful energy and untapped potential. Together, this group aims to break into contention in a Western Conference filled with superstars like Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, and Stephen Curry. Yet the debate remains whether Garnett is the correct mentor. Analysts such as David Dennis Jr. have questioned if Garnett's emphasis on grit, post-play, and mental warfare is best suited for Wembanyama, whose style thrives on spacing, shooting, and freedom. Instead, figures like Kevin Durant, Dirk Nowitzki, or even Michael Jordan could arguably provide templates closer to Wembanyama's skill set. Durant's pull-up shooting and perimeter scoring package would seem like a direct model for a tall forward with guard skills, while Nowitzki's mid-range fadeaway and efficiency could complement Wembanyama's arsenal. Critics argue that leaning too heavily into Garnett's post-oriented mindset might reduce what makes Wembanyama unique, particularly his freedom to operate as a perimeter threat despite his towering height. The counter-argument is that Garnett brings what Wembanyama lacks most, a relentless edge and psychological toughness. Garnett's career is filled with moments where his words or sheer energy dictated the pace of a game. His clash with Carmelo Anthony in 2013, where verbal jabs nearly escalated into a brawl, encapsulates his ability to unnerve opponents. This kind of mental warfare is not easily taught, and for a young player carrying the expectations of being the best prospect since LeBron James, cultivating that toughness could be essential. Garnett's push for Wembanyama to develop a lethal post-game, specifically using fadeaways similar to his own, is another dimension that could make the young star truly unstoppable. If he combines perimeter shooting with an unguardable inside move, defenders will have no choice but to concede points. Beyond basketball skills, Wembanyama's offseason training highlights his broader pursuit of excellence. He has traveled globally, working with Shaolin monks to learn Kung Fu and meditation, emphasizing mental clarity and discipline. He has used chess as a way to sharpen strategic thinking, showing a deliberate attempt to align mind and body in his development. His dedication to recovery, including a strict 9 p.m. bedtime, reflects a maturity unusual for a 21-year-old athlete in the spotlight. This obsession with maximizing every area of performance mirrors some of the habits of all-time greats, who often distinguished themselves by preparation as much as by natural talent. For the Spurs, the possibility of building a dynasty around him is real. Fox provides speed and offensive creation, Castle delivers defense that can complement Wembanyama's rim protection, and Harper offers another youthful piece in development. Together, they form a nucleus that could return San Antonio to relevance after years of rebuilding. In a conference dominated by the Nuggets' balance, the Lakers' star power, and the Warriors' championship pedigree, the Spurs need both Wembanyama's growth and his supporting cast's progression to break through. Kendrick Perkins, a former teammate of Garnett, highlighted one specific point that strengthens the case for Garnett's mentorship. He called Garnett's post-game a cheat code, underrated yet devastatingly effective. Translating that knowledge to Wembanyama could add a weapon that few defenders could ever hope to counter. Combining fadeaways and post-positioning with Wembanyama's already elite range would create a two-level scoring threat that would dismantle defensive schemes. The league is watching not only his scoring and defense, but also his ability to absorb mentorship and pressure simultaneously. Every performance is dissected for signs of greatness or signs of weakness. His role in the Spurs' playoff push will be closely monitored, particularly as the team attempts to climb out of the Western Conference basement. Given the competitive landscape, even a player of his caliber cannot single-handedly guarantee success, but his presence changes the ceiling of the franchise immediately. If he continues his trajectory, the NBA could see a player who surpasses statistical milestones previously considered unreachable. Combining averages near 25 points with double-digit rebounds and 4 blocks per game across multiple seasons would redefine expectations for a big man. Adding perimeter shooting at volume separates him from legends of the past who dominated in the paint but did not stretch the floor. The mentorship with Garnett, regardless of whether it perfectly aligns stylistically, is already shaping the perception of Wembanyama's career. It symbolizes a transfer of fire from one era to another. Garnett's career spanned decades of change, from the physical wars of the late 1990s and early 2000s to the rise of spacing and perimeter play. Wembanyama enters at a time when the game prizes shooting, pace, and versatility. The synthesis of both philosophies could create a hybrid unlike anything seen before. The future of the NBA's balance of power could depend on how effectively Wembanyama fuses Garnett's old-school intensity with his new-school arsenal. The outcome could shape the league for the next 2 decades, making every step in his journey a matter of global interest. His story is still unfolding, but the facts already place him among the most extraordinary talents ever to step onto a basketball court.
To beat San Antonio, there's a level that you have to play at, and it has to be very good all the time, because very rarely are they going to play poorly. So they are the most consistent basketball team in the last decade. They play at the same level every time. Now, you can beat them, but you're not going to beat them because they played poorly. They might make a bad decision down the stretch. They might miss a defensive assignment down the stretch, but they will never play poorly in a basketball game. And that's why they are.
The good thing is they got a lot of talent to do it with, and it is going to be a fun jigsaw puzzle to see how Mitch Johnson tries to put it together and puts the pieces out on the court, and hopefully Victor is out there doing his thing again.
If they're a top 6 seed in the West, Wemby will be an MVP candidate. I'll go out on that limb.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that too.
By the way, 120 minutes with Fox and Wemby on the floor together.
Oh, okay.
A negative net rating, but that's obviously tiny sample size. I was when we were out in Vegas, talked to some Spurs folks and basically saying, hey, how do these guards fit together? Obviously, De'Aaron Fox, a guy that made a big swing at in the trade market. And then, a number 4 overall pick who's just rookie of the year in Castle, and Harper, the number 2 overall pick. Then they're all kind of lead guards. But I didn't get a whole sense of concern about the fit. It's basically like, hey, 2 guard spots, 96 minutes, 3 guys. They're all going to play. And then you kind of figure that out as you go. But they've got some real depth on this team now. Devin Vassell, quality player. Keldon Johnson coming off the bench. Harrison Barnes still there. Jeremy Sohan. And then, added Carter Bryant. We'll see how much he plays as a rookie. And then went out and added a couple big men this summer in Luke Cornett and Kelly Olynyk, who they just traded for. And it's, the sense around the Spurs is like, hey, it's time to make a jump. It's time to really be a competitive team. Now, what exactly that means at the end of the season in this loaded Western Conference, they might be a very competitive team that doesn't get a playoff spot.
Over the weekend, actually Friday, he was, I believe McMahon, he was in Las Vegas, right? Wasn't he at these games?
Oh yeah. Yeah. He just walked right in the, during that game, and big guy, can't really miss him as he's walking his courtside seat.
Well, he apparently saw the Spurs medical staff in Vegas, just back from Tokyo. He's made 2 trips to Asia this offseason that we're aware of. I mean, one to China and one to Japan. He was dancing in a Japanese club last week. I saw some video from that. But anyway, the point is he has been cleared to resume basketball activities.
Now, wasn't he doing like bicycle kicks and stuff?
Yeah. So look, I don't.
And training with monks.
Yeah, I don't exactly 100% know all of the stuff, so I'm not gonna, say. I would say this as somebody who had a blood clot years ago. Typically, you would not be able to be cleared for that stuff if the doctors weren't pretty sure you were not going to fall and have internal bleeding. So,
as you were returning from your blood clots, were you doing bicycle kicks?
I was able to cut those out of my my routine, so it was hard. But so my guess is he had already been in a good spot from potentially off blood thinning medication.
Yeah,
but he has been vague about whether he had surgery for this or not. So maybe he'll clarify that later on. The Spurs from the start were confident that he would be cleared to return. So this is what's important. He has been cleared. He's going to be able to start playing basketball again, which McMahon is good because it's only July. Like he shouldn't be able to get, I'm sure they're going to be careful with him, but he should be able to get several months of court work coming into the season. So I'm sure they'll, not let him play 48 minutes, but.
Sure. 2.5 months though of real off-season basketball work. Has there been any clarity on his potential participation in Eurobasket for France?
That is a really good question. Now, Bontemps mentioned last week that Kristaps Porzingis reaffirmed he intends to play for Latvia. Latvia, by the way, a sneaky contender to win.
Yeah,
or at least to
be a good spot.